NRLCA and the Postal Service agreed to an MOU that went into effect on March 9th and expires August 23rd. This MOU temporarily modifies Article 8, a provision that prohibits regular rural carriers from working on Sunday, and Article 30, which prohibits regular rural carriers from serving all or part of any rural route other than their own. This is not new language and is an MOU that has been extended multiple times. I know many of you wonder why we continue to sign this MOU to allow modifications to these provisions of the contract. To be clear, this modification allows regular rural carriers to work on other routes on a voluntary basis. They cannot be mandated. The language in the MOU that no regular carrier will be required is bolded for emphasis. I know that some people feel this gives the Postal Service an excuse to not hire and is only a benefit to lazy managers who already put no effort into hiring. There may in fact be cases where that statement is true. There may be offices where this MOU gives managers extra help to get packages and mail delivered where they are short-staffed, and it is possible this contributes in part to a lack of hiring in those offices. There's also a fact that the number of leave replacements per Article 30 that we are short is nowhere close to the number of carriers who are volunteering. Realistically, this MOU has little impact on the big picture of the leave replacement shortage issue, but any impact must be taken seriously. I have stated publicly that I have little appetite to continue signing MOU after MOU on this issue, and we need to gain something through collective bargaining if we are to continue allowing carriers to work on a voluntary basis, as this benefits to the employer. We just opened collective bargaining on March 5th, a process that takes months, and there simply was no other option at this time if we are to allow carriers the opportunity to continue and volunteer. I received multiple calls and messages from carriers who are adamant that we continue allowing them to volunteer. The situation for every carrier is different. Many carriers have felt the impact of the decline in mail volume and are not experiencing dramatic parcel growth. There are carriers in this situation looking for ways to earn extra money. There are also carriers who are willing to work every opportunity they can to provide as much income for their families as possible, and this exception to the contractual provisions allows them that opportunity. As stated, we are just beginning collective bargaining, and we will see where this specific issue takes us. If there is something to be gained long-term for rural carriers and stop the cycle of extending MOUs, now would be the time to try and make those improvements. If there is a desire by so many carriers to volunteer to work other duties so they can either make up for lost income or add income to provide for their families, if it is on a voluntary basis and no one is being mandated, then we need to take a hard look if this is something we would use to bargain improvements in other work rules or economic increases for all rural carriers. In places where carriers have been volunteering, had we not signed this MOU, managers would likely violate the contract and mandate. In those instances, we would rely on the grievance procedure. The simple truth, whether we have contractual language or an MOU to allow this, carriers who want to volunteer are likely to continue the same way that managers are likely to allow them. We need a real solution. Collective bargaining, a process that takes both parties to agree on any subject, has just started, and we will see where this one leads. One thing I can assure you, this is not something that would just be given away, as the Postal Service will need to bring something substantial to the table for any of us to have desire to continue. I felt it necessary to explain this perspective, especially after so many of you have reached out demanding to be allowed to have the opportunity to add to your income, provided it is done so on a voluntary basis. Thank you.